I don't get rusty because I don't depend on all those weird external techniques. And that's why, again, inner work, letting go, that's literally the most result-producing things. And that's ultimately what we're after, right? Just imagine, you could just go out, immediately, you're in the zone. You don't have to build up. It's not like you're going to war or a battle. Right? That's a lot of people. It's like, I need my pre-going out routine. What? I probably had the most, like the longest, craziest pre-going out routine, right? To the point where, this is back in Switzerland when I started out, I would, 2 hours, if not more, before going out, that's when my routine would start. Okay, it's like literally preparing to go to war, because that's what it felt like. A night out was rarely fun. There'd be glimpses of fun, but a lot of it was me battling against massive anxiety, massive pressure, massive negative self-talk. It was like this downward spiral pulling me down every single time. It was just hell. Like glimpses of fun, but like 90% of it, it was like, I just came back from the gym, but from war, and I come home and I'm just like defeated. That was going out, right? And then people wonder, like, why don't you get results? Like, if that's your night out, you're not gonna get results. No one wants to be around that, right? But my routine would start 2 hours before. I would take my clothes out, and it would always be the same clothes. I had my going out attire. I would iron them, everything, right? I'd iron the pants even, like everything, like the socks. I was like, everything's ironed, and I would not put it on until I left the door. Why? Because if I put it on at home and say, I sit down, what if there's a wrinkle, right? That's how bad it was. So I'm like, ironed, crisp, okay, leave it there. Then walk around, not putting it on. Start playing some music, right? Getting myself in the zone, putting on even some like videos, like courses and stuff back then, like watching it, like, okay, rehearsing it, really thinking about it, ruminating on it. What's it gonna be like? Is it gonna be good? Oh, I don't know. Come on, I gotta do this. Come on, jump up and down, get yourself in the zone. Come on, you got this, That was the whole routine. Then, when it's time to finally go out, right? Really trying to pump it. It's like music loud, it's like, we got this. Finally put on the clothes. Walk out, and I had to take like this, I had to walk for a bit and then take a train to finally go out to the city. And even on the train, I would not sit down because I didn't want the little wrinkle. And then, go into the venue, same exact thing every time. No matter what the pre-routine was, as soon as I walk in that venue, bang, it's like a slap in the face. I'm just like, oh, here I am. Okay, I said I could do this. Remember the music, the videos. You got this, you got this. Same excuses, and it was hell. If you can't find a way to make this fun, easy, and enjoyable, trust me, you will eventually give up. Just like someone who starts out in self-help, they're all motivated, like, I'm gonna work on myself, 18 hours a day, and they'll do it for like a week or two and then burn out, and that's it. You're heading right towards a burnout when it comes to your social skills. And trust me, it's so alienating to anyone you talk to. Again, notice, it's like, if you're walking around like you're stuffing all this down, you're nervous, the self-talk, you're like, come on, fight against it, and you're like, I heard I had to smile. Your smile more often than not is fake, right? People add, it's like fake smile, fake laughs, reactive laughs, like, oh, that was a funny joke, look, I'm smiling. Like, that's the vibe you see. Who would want to be around that? And you got to ask yourself here too, when you go out, and not on your best little glimpses. Again, everyone has a good night here and there, a little glimpse here and there, but if you take your average typical night out, which tends to be the same on repeat, by the way, same excuses, same little pattern, I take a bit of action, I stop, same rationalizations, literally Groundhog Day of going out. If you really take that, what's my typical night, typical vibe, typical day out, if you were to meet you, would you be excited? Would you be like, oh wow, this is awesome? Like, put yourself in the person's shoes. If you were to meet you, would you be like blown away, like, wow, I met one of the coolest people here, wow. Or would you be thinking, wow, I really met some pathetic person trying to scam his way into this, right? Most people with their social skills, they're scammers. Most of you are scammers. You're trying to scam people into liking you because you're so pathetic and you're trying to compensate and tricking them into it. Look, I smile, I'm cool. I have the fun story. Here's a good test, right? Say you were to meet your ideal partner right now. Okay, boom, 10 out of 10, blown away, and say it goes well. Say that person were to meet your friends, your social circle. Would they be impressed, or would they be like, ooh, I thought that person was cool, but now, what would it be? Would you be proud to introduce them to your friends? Or you'd be like, these are my loser friends. I know I put on a cool front, but this is what's up, right? If they were to see what you do in your day-to-day life, everything about you, what you're into, would you be like, oh, this is me, of course? Or would it be like this thing you're trying to hide, and you know as soon as they see through it, it's a letdown? If you think it's a letdown, if there's resistance around that, scammer, right? That's what people do. Oh, I'm so shitty, I'm so shy, I gotta pretend to be confident. Scammer. I need to build momentum. Scammer. That's who you are. And it's crazy how people don't realize this. And I hope it stings a bit hearing that, because that's the truth. You know that voice like, oh fuck, it's true. And you can get really good at scamming. People can sometimes, like, again, put in a few years, you won't have much fun, always gonna be stressful, you won't maintain many results, but you can kind of optimize that scamming front. You can even delay the inevitable, but the inevitable will always be there. And even if it does go well, guess what? Now those people who you see, even friends and stuff, whoever, you're always gonna be walking around on eggshells, feeling like an imposter. That was something I felt for a long time. Anyone feel that, like imposter syndrome? Yeah, like holy shit, or things like, it's outside my, imposter, yeah, terrible. And you gotta ask yourself too, is that really what you're in for? Is that the results you want? Oh, but it looks cool, I guess. I can look cool in front of my friends externally a bit. Terrible. So that was a lot of my experience. When I started out, that was literally me going out. And when I say this even to people now, they're like, wait, I guess you're right. Right? If you think about this whole social skill community, until you actually, and I'm not saying that there isn't, of course, some external things to work on. Of course there are. But until you reach that foundation where you go out, you feel at ease, you don't get stuck in your head, you own who you are. It's like, hey, this is me. You're not pretending. It's going to be terrible. Okay? And God, I just to kind of contrast it, the experience going out now is just so much fucking better. Like, just think about it, okay? So here, I'll give you a few things. I did manage in the past to, in a social skill setting, scam my way into having a really good amount of good nights out. But this is how I would do it. And you might have seen me talk about this in old videos. I would try to get creative and use whatever's happening, right? And try to reframe it as something funny. That's what I would do. It's like, oh, okay, a rejection. Let me try to reframe it as, that's funny, right? Pushing your own buttons. And that does work. But it never really gets to the cause, right? Because it's still affecting you. You're still having to rely on that to have a good night out. What about being in control of your own state? No matter what's out there, you're just like, yep, doesn't affect me. I go out and I choose to have a good time. I draw that from within. For those of you who've been in this for a while, I know you know that saying, right? Drawing state from within. Very few people do that. And it is fucking awesome when you do. Okay? Once you actually develop that core identity, that core confidence, you draw state from within, when you go out, nothing affects you. You can actually relax in those environments. And it is possible. I know it sounds too good to be true, but you can go out in the most crazy environments and literally feel just as chill as you at home in your room. Right now, I am just as chill as me at home in my room. I can choose to bring energy or not, but internally how I feel, am I in my room right now, or is it like nothing? And then you choose, and then it's so fucking fun. And you can really notice too, how much, in terms of going out, you're on the scammy side or not, by how heavy the experience feels. That's the first audit. And you can just bring your awareness to this when you go out, say, after this or tonight or tomorrow. It's like, is this a very heavy experience? Is it like, or is it very light? Is there a lot of effort or not? Remember, control muscles, release muscles. And then more importantly, how much am I genuinely laughing and having a blast? When you reach that point and you do the work, you can actually start unleashing your real personality, like what you're into, right? Because everyone here, it's like, I don't really know what to talk about. Everyone has little passion stuff, right? You all have a browser history, and there's some interesting or weird shit on there that you can talk about, right? Everyone does. It's like, I don't know what to talk about. It's like, oh, we'll talk about some of this, huh? But we're often too scared to put it out there. We have that bar. It's like, this is not good enough, this is not good enough, this is not good enough. Imagine feeling so comfortable, you can just like, this is good enough, and it draws people in. And this is also a key point. You think you get good with references, but you need the right references. What most people do, if they go the scammy route and they put on this front, even if it goes well, you know what's getting validated? Not you, but the front. You're not actually growing. Real references, if you want to start feeling good, also like being yourself, you gotta put yourself out there and get feedback on that. The real you, the real humor, the real stories. And trust me, although it might at first seem fun and flashy, like, oh, they like the front, or they like this thing I'm not really into, but I got the line somewhere. Although that might seem fun, trust me, nothing ever comes close to when you put your true self out there and you talk about something really, really authentic into it. That's true impact. That's true legacy. You know, we talk about business legacy, this legacy. You know what else is a good legacy? Vibe legacy. Just sharing good times and authentic times with other people. Nothing, to be honest, in my experiences, come even close to that. Yeah.
What would you recommend to some of us who feel like we're right on that cusp of like just straight fucking clowning, having a good ass time, and then every little once in a while, we get sucked back down into that low state or low energy. Like we're almost fucking there, but then it's still a slight battle, it's still a little seesaw.
So love this question. But that's the problem. So I'm going to explain the problem is, and I love you use that word, right? It's like sucked back down. That's a great audit to see if you're on the scammy side or not. That's effort. I need to build up and I don't want to get sucked down. True confidence is you can't get sucked down. You relax into it and you're just you. It's not this buildup, right? So that's the thing. It's like if there's a buildup you're trying to maintain, no matter what. Like there's no inner games to be like, no, you just stay up there, right? This will allow you to battle it. There shouldn't be anything to battle. And that was a big shift for me, dude, because again, I know exactly what you're saying. That was me for the longest time, right? It's like going up, it's like, okay, I feel it kind of going down, self-abuse, right? Like trying to fight it. And it's just terrible. Versus, whoa, there's nothing to fall back into. Like I'm at the bottom and I'm feeling great, and that's actually the real top. It's getting out of that seesaw completely, if you will, right? So you can audit it. For everyone here, when you go out, is it I'm armoring up, powering up, or am I just sinking into myself and then unleashing the energy from there? And then also audit little things that, you know, if you are in that seesaw, push you down. Little things that trigger you, right? I would say, you know, people also sometimes ask me, like, if I went back in time, would I do anything differently in terms of how I learned social skills? And the answer is yes. First thing I would do is what I told you guys the other day. It's 80% of it will be letting go, mixed in with action. Again, letting go is not just you staying at home. And then the other 20% would be tactical. But I would start there on the foundation. And usually what's very unfortunate, and I went through it too, is that people, because, how to say it, it's like that instant gratification, like it's much more flashy and catchy to go for the quick little action steps. Hey, there's this little momentum thing. Oh, there's this cool thing you can do, right? Like videos, say even on YouTube, where I go really deep on the inner stuff, some people love them because they're ready, but a lot of other people would much rather hear a fun little thing like, this is how you press your own buttons and game yourself. Fun, carefree passion. People love those videos. It's a lot flashy. It's flashy, it seems very simple. You don't really have to work on yourself at all. And it's just what Owen was saying. It's like drawing the marker abs. Like, I got abs, fun, carefree passion. No one really wants to do deep inner work. And the resistance you'll feel to deep inner work, this is also what's crazy, is it won't be a massive fear or the type of anxiety you'll have, say, when you see someone you want to say hi. It's like just this subtle, lazy resistance. You're like, nah, I'm good. You know, I was talking during the breakout session the other day, and I've been saying this for years too, an advanced form of fear is laziness. Or that, I'm good, I'll do it later. Well, I don't want to say that person, I'll say that person later. I could if I wanted to, but I just don't feel like it. That's the advanced subtle form that sneaks up on you, right? So that's what I would have done, and unfortunately, again, people get drawn into the more external flashy stuff, and it's usually people who reach an intermediate level where they're like on that cusp of just getting elite level social skills, and they just bump their heads too many times that only then there's the opening to do the deep work, and then they just shoot up. What got you here won't necessarily get you there. And because this is something I noticed myself, it was so hard to shift. I mean, shit, dude, for me to also like really start doing deep inner work, what did it take? A whole fucking scandal. Like, I was more stubborn than any of you fuckers here. I'm the most stubborn person there was. Like, if I was here and it's like, yeah, the inner work, I'm like, no. If I was in the crowd, I'd be like, no, I'll find it with more techniques. Literally, right? And you could just grab me like, sit down and do it. I'd be like, no. Ask Owen, he tried. He's like, dude, we gotta do inner work. I'm like, nah, it's just techniques. It was terrible. So you're gonna have to go against your ego here. Because here's what happens. It's like you invest so much in this one way of doing things, and it gets you way further than a starting point. Like I said, you can actually get pretty good if you just go the technique route. You'll still feel someone like an imposter. It won't be consistent. You won't have that elite level skill set, but you'll be better than the average person by far. by far. And I think that's amazing, right? Definitely do that. And the fact you are all here and have the courage to do that, fucking respect to every single one of you here. Because that does take a lot, okay? No, for real, give yourselves a hand. Like, that takes a fucking lot. Right? So that does take a lot. But then here, it's like when you're gonna have to like humble yourself in a way and be like, look, what got me here won't get me there. I know I've doubled down and this is now my identity and it's my go-to, but you're gonna have to shift gears and go against your ego and like fully like dedicate, I'd say even 90% of your attention here towards deep inner work.
Like, this program is such a game changer. The way everything's structured and the material, it's been already, even for me, it's just been, I'm noticing a crazy change in the way that my whole life's like playing out.
What you put together is just incredible. There's nothing like that.
I've just jumped like a million levels. It's just been a complete 180 for my experience of existing. That's awesome.
It's just been so huge in terms of so many of the things I'm finally understanding and realizing and epiphanies I'm having.
What you do is a huge inspiration to me, and I think it's one of the most beautiful things you can give to another human in this entire world.
You saved my fucking life, man. I'm telling you, this is real, man.
Sometimes all it takes is just one person who believes in you. Find people who are where you are in life and model them, work with them. I would not be here if I didn't have people who held me accountable.
Wow.
I just felt a click and things are changing.
This program was just top notch.
Seriously, like, this is a masterpiece. This is perfect.
Everything, the way it's set up, the live calls, like all the support from the coaches is incredible.
It's been nuts.
I just had my tears of joy.
This was the best decisions I ever made.
Thank you for creating something wonderful like this. This program was phenomenal.
This program was amazing.
This has definitely changed my life.
I know for a fact I'm in the right place. This is exactly what I was expecting from the program.
It's been spectacular.
I feel really lucky to have found you.
Thank you so much, Julien. It's worth every dollar.